This person posts on the SEO subreddit, SEO is an enigma. I'm a freelance web developer, and as part of the job, I'm often asked to improve a site's SEO. My understanding is that there are generally three elements to SEO. One, technical, how performant the site is on mobile and desktop devices. Two, content, having original and relevant content which utilizes the keywords given in the meta tags. This can be achieved by just having lots of natural mentions in the page or by having original and unique blog posts. And three, backlinks, having backlinks from other sites which are credible to your site. What I want to know is, how are people building these backlinks? And is there anything I'm missing to improve SEO? Most of the time, I'm making sites with 100 Lighthouse scores, and the pages end up on around page 43 of the keyword searches, even for an exact domain search. I'm not sure how people are getting their pages higher. Feels like an enigma to me. I would be very grateful if someone could share their workflow. So, on this episode of the podcast, I'm going to share a few of my favorite responses to this person's post on the SEO subreddit. I read over all of the responses to this, and I'm going to share my favorite ones, the ones that I think are most helpful and are the ones that are least full of it, the ones that are the most credible and the most helpful. All right, so number one is actually also the top comment, and it's from someone named Busy Business Promos, who said, "My most effective backlink strategy is to ignore domain authority and domain rating and do what makes sense. Exchanging backlinks is about relationship building. I exchange links with people in similar niches and similar locations. Take a jewelry website and a wedding website, for example. This is a perfect combination for a link exchange. It absolutely doesn't matter what domain authority and domain rating is or any other third-party vanity metrics. What matters is people looking for engagement rings and wedding rings are also looking for information about weddings and vice versa. Now, to be clear, similar niches don't matter in SEO. However, why not try to increase your income as you increase your search engine ranking? Think for yourself and do what makes sense, and you'll make even more money for you or your client." I like this response because it's holistic. It's not just about the backlinks, it's also about the marketing. And backlinks that aren't getting clicks aren't very valuable. But if you are doing something with a partner who is actually going to send you clicks because what you are offering is complementary to what they are offering, now you're getting traffic from the link, and that link is a lot more valuable. So it's a link that is going to make you money because it's passing on qualified potential customers. And then because it's passing on these customers, it's also passing SEO link juice. Think for yourself and do what makes sense, and you'll make even more money for you or your client. And this comment has a few good comments underneath it. So the original poster asked, "Does this mean that when making a website for a cake shop, for example, you might email various related businesses in the area like frosting companies, birthday celebration hosts, and party planners to ask if you could have your site linked to in theirs and vice versa?" And then the person who suggested the idea said that's a great idea and utilized the link exchange subreddits as well. Website Catalyst runs one of these link exchange subreddits. And Website Catalyst even commented and said, even a plumber saying how great their cake is will work. I just think about, is there a way to share the link that's going to make it valuable for both businesses, where the business that's sharing it is offering something relevant and useful to their existing customers, and then the business that's receiving it is actually going to be getting customers through that link. It's going to be getting clicks and customers through that link. So I thought that was a cool comment, a comment that treats SEO in a way more natural way. The next comment that I like is from the legend Weblinkr. Weblinkr is so awesome. It's my favorite poster on the SEO subreddit. Weblinkr said, "You're looking at this as a server performance issue." And then Weblinkr quotes the original poster who said, "My understanding is that there are generally three elements to SEO." Weblinkr responds, "SEO is about two things. There is no technical component. One, relevance. Every document you make is relevant to something. If your document is called bestwebhostinguk.php and the page title is Best Web Host UK, then your document is relevant to Web Hosting UK and possibly web hosting and Web UK and Hosting UK. As you add more content, you don't become more relevant, but you can add relevancy to other keywords. But your relevancy score is mostly in your document name, and then in content, it's going to have less percentage of authority as it's lower in the page or outside of a header. Your authority must be external. You cannot create it. Authority comes from organic traffic and backlinks, but backlinks are not equal. Backlinks from the highest, most authoritative sites and your distance from them. Page speed, core web vitals are negligible. Sure, a slow site might be impacted by user bounces, but Google is not ranking your site higher because it's fast or scores well or has less errors. Some things to remember. Google supports 57 file types. HTML is just one. Text files, PDFs, sheets, .bas files can all be processed and ranked. They all have one thing in common, a file name. If that doesn't tell you something important about how Google works, I can't help you much more. By the way, people are now reporting their LLMs.txt files, which they make for LLMs that don't even use them because LLMs aren't using these new LLMs.txt files, but Google is ranking the LLMs.txt files. Something else that I like about this comment is Weblinkr says page speed, core web vitals are negligible. A slow site might be impacted by bounce rate, but Google is not ranking your site higher because it's faster, scores well, or has less errors, and that's absolutely true. It's a huge misconception in SEO. Just make sure your site is fast enough, test it for yourself, test it for friends and family in different locations, test it in incognito with different browsers, test it on VPNs, do lots of testing. Also, like the emphasis put on the relevancy score is mostly in your document name, and then in content, it's going to have less percentage of authority as it's lower in the page or outside of a header. The easy thing to the easy way to generalize is the closer you are positioning your keyword to the beginning of your content, the more that is telling search engines, this content is about this. Why would people making algorithms do that? It's because how would a reader do it? A reader is, at first, they're going to look at the H1. They're going to look at the page title first, which shows up in search engines. They're going to click on the page. They're going to see the H1, the biggest text at the top of the page. They're going to see that. And a visitor is going to make their decision on, is this content relevant based on that? And the last comment that I want to share is from UBIAI, someone who obviously wants a universal basic income because of AI. That's the person's Reddit handle. And this person breaks down some different backlink tactics. The person says, guest blogging. This is a classic approach, but it still works. By writing a post for a site in your niche, you can often negotiate a link back to your site in return. Just make sure the site you're writing for has good authority. Broken link building. Basically, you find a broken link on a site in your niche, then reach out to the site owner and let them know. If you're a site owner, you don't want to be linking to 404 pages. If someone says, hey, your link here is broken, but I made the same content, you can link to this, there's a good chance they'll accept that. Local citations. If your site is local in nature, you can build a lot of backlinks by submitting your site to local directories. And many of these sites will list your site for free, and they often have good authority. Even if your site isn't local in nature, there are just many general directories or niche directories that are not local, and you can still use those. And then the skyscraper technique. It involves finding a popular piece of content in your niche, creating something 10 times better than reaching out to the sites that link to the original piece and asking them to link to your content instead. I don't like the skyscraper technique for making top of funnel content, top of funnel SEO content. I just think that time and the effort is better spent making lots of different bottom of funnel SEO landing pages. But if you are doing the skyscraper technique for a linkable asset, that's a different story. If you are finding something that is a viral topic that's getting lots of links, and then you make something that's 10 times better, and then you reach out to the people who link to that original content, that's a cool idea. You can do that with web apps as well. You can do that with lots of different linkable assets. A linkable asset is something that's so cool, useful, or interesting that people can't help to link back to it. And so you make something where you are similar to what people, or honestly the same thing, but it's better, to something that is already getting links. And then you reach out to those people who are linking to it and you say, I made this, it's better, or it's really similar, you're gonna love it. And they check it out and they love it, and then they link to it. So I thought that comment was useful too. And that's everything that I wanted to share with you from this thread. From the thread, SEO is an enigma on the search engine optimization subreddit. The thread will be linked to in the description of this episode. And if you want to learn my method of SEO that gets customers, paying customers, users, and warm leads calling you up saying, I found what you sell and it is exactly what I am looking for. Can I get it? Let's talk. Can I hire you? If you want that, My method, that is at compactkeywords.com. The testimonials on the site say a lot, the video testimonials especially, and the video at the top of that landing page explains a lot about compact keywords to you. So if you haven't checked that out before, that's at compactkeywords.com. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, this is episode, what number is this? Oh, I think it's 823. 823 days in a row doing this podcast. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Bye now.